remember back in my day when I started playing Final Fantasy XIV in 2015? 2016? It's been a while, and I can't do the math. But it's been a really long time. I started playing before Stormblood came out. So it was like a year into Heaven's Ward. So it's been a really long time.
Has the game changed a lot since then?
Yeah! Every major expansion introduces a good amount of changes and a ton of new content. So life is pretty different from when I started playing. And I think you can tell when I do, back in my day, I used to have to do this, or I used to have to use TP to sprint, which is no longer a thing. But, you know, the old ones will know. Since I started playing, there's been quite a few major expansions. There's roughly an expansion every 2.5 years, and in total, there's been 5 expansions since the re-release of ARR.
What were the big changes that came with those 2 expansions?
I think the most impactful changes that came with Endwalker was actually the ARR quest and the introduction of duty support system. Yeah, they pared down A Realm Reborn a bunch, so it's streamlined now and you can get through A Realm Reborn much quicker. You are getting the updated, enhanced experience. And for Dawn Trail, it's definitely the graphics update. Everything looks a lot better than it did before, especially the lighting, the character models, and the textures. And for the new expansions, there are way more details. I'm excited for you to see those later.
They changed the quests in ARR? And what's duty support?
Yeah, actually, they reduced the total number of quests in A Realm Reborn to make it a bit shorter and easier for new players. A bunch of dungeons also got some adjustments too, making them more beginner-friendly. There used to be this one infamous dungeon called Aurum Vale, and they changed that, and you will no longer be gooed.
Mm-hmm.
You'll hear horror stories about it, but they changed it. And once you get to the end of A Realm Reborn, I'll show you some of what the older ones were like. Duty support is where you can do dungeons and trials with NPCs, so you don't have to do them with other players. You don't need to matchmake. You don't need to be scared. And the NPCs have dialogue with each other. They always have these cute little bubbles, and I like bringing NPCs along in my dungeons and my journeys, and it's really good for immersion. It's really good for single player, especially if you're going to the story. So you can do content together with the other characters if you've forged a bond with them.
Oh, that's so cool. That they go back and make changes to some of the older parts of the game, even with the new expansions. And duty support sounds pretty darn useful too.
Enough about my old memories of the game. I want to hear about your experiences so far. Like, are you getting used to the combat? For a lot of people, it takes some time to get used to the tab target combat if it's their first MMO.
It definitely takes some getting used to, especially compared to what I usually play, and lack of gaming playability. I think the thing that's been the most difficult for me is getting used to changing between targets. Sometimes when I hit tab, it feels like it goes through to something at random, but now I'm using controller a lot, so I'm getting used to all different buttons and all that shebang.
There's actually a few settings you can adjust to help with that. One of the easiest changes to make the whole experience a little easier is just finding the target nearest enemy key and just smacking that.
I'll give it a try then.
How's the main story been so far? They throw a good amount of lore at you very early, so let me know if you have any questions.
It's been fun, though they definitely throw a lot of names. A lot of names and people at you, but that's the fun of it. I really like meeting all the characters. I think the biggest question I have is why the Guardians all look like they're from a completely different genre. Most everyone else look like they fit in a fantasy setting, but seeing some of the Guardians is really whoa. in a funny way. Some of them look like they belong in something like the Power Rangers.
That's something you'll end up getting used to over time. They don't expect you to know everything they throw at you all at once. Final Fantasy XIV blends a lot of different aesthetics, which is really nice because it means there's a ton of outfits, and I know that you're really interested in a lot of outfits and equipment to play around with when you get to doing some fashion stuff.
Oh,
What's been the most fun part of the massive multiplayer online experience so far?
It's so different, and well, I've just never played a game like this before. So it's a whole new adventure. So it's all just fun because it's so new, but in a really good way. There's so many people in all the cities, and there's always just something to do. It's very lively all the time, especially when I have the Rosarians and Grems by my side. It makes it lots of fun.
Yep. It's definitely a very fun new experience, especially if it's your first MMO. We're actually towards the tail end of an expansion cycle right now. So when the next expansion comes out in January, there's gonna be like 5 bajillion people lining up everywhere, and they're very polite, and they love doing queues, and they love lining up for when you get into a duty. It's really cute. You'll see so many people.
Oh, that sounds exciting. Well, that's a date then.
Yeah, of course.
Excited to play more with you and all the Grams and Rosari.